You know, there's this incredible piece of engineering that millions of us use every single day, and we barely even think about it. It looks so simple, right? Just a plastic shell. But inside, there's this amazing dance of physics going on, taming some seriously intense heat.
I mean, think about it. You point it, you hit a button, and poof, wet hair is dry. But how? How does it really work? What's the secret to turning regular old room air into this super focused jet of hot air?
Well, it turns out the whole thing is actually pretty simple. Beautifully simple, in fact. A hairdryer really only has three main jobs. Move air, heat that air, and then, control it all so it doesn't get out of hand. That's the whole game.
Okay, so let's break it down. Job number 1, moving the air. Before we can do anything else, we've got to get the air moving. And it all starts right at the back of the dryer.
So the second you flip that switch, this tiny but powerful electric motor just springs into action. It starts spinning a little fan blade like crazy. And that fan? It's like a mini vacuum cleaner, sucking cool air from the room right through those vents on the back. Then, all that air gets funneled down the barrel, creating that strong blast you feel.
All right, so we've got air moving. Great. But let's be honest, blowing cool air on your hair isn't going to do much, right? We need heat. So how do we get it? This is where the real magic happens.
The secret sauce is this special wire coiled up inside. It's made of something called nichrome, basically a mix of nickel and chromium. And its superpower? It's really, really bad at conducting electricity. It has super high electrical resistance. And that one property, well, that's the key to the whole operation. Okay, stick with me here, because this is the core physics. Imagine electricity trying to push its way through a super crowded hallway. All that pushing and shoving, that struggle, it creates a ton of friction. On an atomic level, that's what's happening in the wire. And all that friction gets released as, you guessed it, heat. Lots and lots of heat.
And when I say lots of heat, I am not kidding. We're talking intense. Those little nichrome wires can literally glow red hot, hitting temperatures of over 1,200 degrees Fahrenheit. That's crazy hot. So now that cool air we sucked in a second ago comes rushing past these super hot coils and just instantly soaks up all that heat.
You know what else works this way? A toaster. It's the perfect analogy. A toaster uses the exact same idea, electrical resistance, to toast your bread. A hairdryer is basically just a toaster with a fan strapped to it, pushing all that heat out in one direction. It's so simple, but so effective. Okay, so we've got hot air and we've got moving air. But a machine that just blasts out 1,200-degree heat with no control, yeah, that would be a bit of a problem, not to mention super dangerous. And that brings us to the third and final job, taming the beast.
So, those little switches on the handle, that's your control panel. The speed switch is pretty much the gas pedal for the fan motor. High means more power, faster fan, more wind. The heat switch is more like a dimmer switch for the nichrome coils. It decides how much electricity gets to flow through them. Let more juice flow, you get a bigger struggle and way more heat.
But here's a really important question. What happens if you accidentally block the vent on the back with your hand or a towel or something? The air stops moving, but those coils are still getting red hot. So what stops the whole thing from just, melting or catching on fire?
Thankfully, there's a tiny, brilliant hero inside. It's called a thermal cutoff switch. It's constantly monitoring the temperature. If things get dangerously hot, click, it automatically cuts the power to the heating coils, breaking the circuit long before a fire can start. And that right there is why you never, ever want to block those vents.
So we've taken the machine apart, piece by piece, but we still haven't answered the biggest question of all. How does hot air actually make wet hair dry? The science behind it is actually pretty cool.
Okay, so here's the real secret. You're not just boiling the water off your hair. That's not it at all. A hairdryer is really just a super-powered evaporation machine. Its whole purpose is to take a natural process and put it on fast forward.
Here's the 1-2 punch. First, the hot air gives the water molecules on your hair a bunch of energy, making them excited and ready to leap off as vapor. But second, and this is just as important, the blast of air physically blows away that little cloud of damp, humid air that's hovering right around your head. It replaces it with fresh, dry air that's ready to soak up more moisture. That's why the fan speed is just as crucial as the heat. And hey, that also explains the cool shop button. Ever wonder what that's for? When your hair is hot, it's easy to shape. Hitting it with that blast of cool air rapidly cools it down, which kind of freezes the style in place. It's what locks it all in. And just as a quick fun fact, these things have come a long way.
The very first handheld dryers back in the 1920s, they were these heavy metal contraptions that were frankly kind of dangerous. It's really modern plastics and smaller, better motors that made them the lightweight, easy-to-use gadgets we have today.
So when you step back and look at it, it's pretty amazing, right? You've got a tiny motor, a special wire that turns a fight with electricity into heat, and a few clever switches to keep it all under control. All these simple parts working together perfectly to harness the power of evaporation, right there in the palm of your hand. So yeah, the humble hairdryer, maybe not so humble after all. It's the perfect example of brilliant engineering hiding in plain sight. And it kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other things that we use every day are secretly these incredible marvels of science?